Hello, welcome to another episode of Stories of World War II Veterans. My name is Kayleen Reusser. I have interviewed 260 World War II veterans and written several books about their stories. You can find my information at my website, which is kayleenreusser.com. I want to read a story for you today from my book, We Gave Our Best, American World War II Veterans Tell Their Stories. And today, my story will be about this gentleman right here, a Marine named Bart Corricelli. On February 23, 1945, Joseph Rosenthal's photo of an American flag being raised on Mount Suribachi made history. The scene of 6 American soldiers straining to establish the flag during the horrendous battle on the island of Iwo Jima became one of the most famous taken during the war, reflecting America's determination to win at all cost. Bart Corricelli was on Iwo Jima at the time of the flag raising. However, he and other soldiers of Company C, 4th Tank Battalion, 4th Marine Division, were at the other end of the island at Motoyama Airfield, number 1, too busy fighting for their lives to give notice to the iconic event. Nicknamed Pork Chop by Allied troops because of its shape, Iwo Jima was part of the chain of islands in the Pacific that the Allies had endeavored to secure. Our planes needed to be able to land at Iwo Jima to refuel, said Corricelli. We wanted to get close enough to Japan for an invasion. The youngest of 10 children, born to an Italian family in Boston, Corricelli graduated in 1940 from Somerville High School. He followed the example of 3 older brothers and enlisted in the Marine Corps. I thought the Marines were the best, he said. At Parris Island in South Carolina, Corricelli endured the toughest 10 weeks of his life to that point. We GIs hated our DIs, or drill instructors, he said. We realized later they taught us discipline and how to be tough. Corricelli needed every survival skill, as in summer 1944, he and other Allied troops were sent to the Battle of Saipan in the Mariana Islands. Corricelli had mixed feelings about driving a tank. At first we thought we were safer in tanks than the infantry on foot, he said, but we were really afraid of mortars. Troops were warned against opening hatches on tanks until given the all-clear. Sadly, not everyone listened. One guy got shot, he said. That Marine was one of more than 2,000 lives lost in 30 days of fighting at Saipan before the Allies claimed victory. While still on the beach, Corricelli's tank was hit when the ground seemed to erupt as Japanese troops stormed out of underground bunkers. 30 days of bombing had produced little opposition, leading Allied troops to mistakenly assume few enemy forces remained. That idea disappeared when the enemy crawled out of well-established bunkers to attack. Corricelli and other soldiers inside the tank fled to safety. Normally we exited out the bottom, he said. That time we went out the top and ran to an embankment out of the line of fire. It was a hard-fought battle. Of the 70,000 American troops who fought on Iwo Jima from February through March 1945, 6,800 died. Approximately 20,000 were wounded. The Japanese suffered approximately 20,000 deaths. They preferred to die for honor, so we captured only a few Japanese soldiers, said Corricelli. At Tinian, Corricelli's tank was hit by a mine. Miraculously, he and his crew escaped serious injuries. However, 500 Allied soldiers who fought to gain control of an airfield lost their lives. Corricelli also participated in conflicts at the Marshall Islands, again without injury. One particularly difficult scene for Corricelli was that of women and children committing suicide by running off of cliffs. The Japanese military had told them the enemy would eat them, said Corricelli. American troops of Japanese descent, called Nisei, tried to convince the frightened people not to jump, to no avail. When Japanese forces officially surrendered in September 1945, Corporal Corricelli was thrilled. He and thousands of other Allied troops had been ordered to participate in an invasion of Japan planned for the fall. Allied leaders estimated 1 million lives would be lost during the proposed invasion. All of us Marines thought Truman was the greatest guy in the world for making the decision to drop those bombs, said Corricelli. We loved him. In November 45, Corricelli was discharged and moved to Huntington, Indiana, where he married and raised a family. Later, he moved to North Manchester, where he was active with military affairs. He currently lives in Florida. Corricelli feels mixed emotions when looking back on his time in the military. We lost a lot of guys, he said. Things that we went through makes me cry. But I met some wonderful friends and consider myself lucky. Again, that story is taken from my book, We Gave Our Best, American World War II Veterans Tell Their Stories. It's filled with stories of men and women who served in various branches. It is book 3 in my World War II Legacies series. They are all available online. I want to thank all of the veterans watching this today for your service. We would not be free without you, and I'm proud to be an American because of your efforts. So read in the show notes about ways to contact me or find out more about what I do. Thank you so much for watching.